Good morning and welcome back to Zod's Vendetta TV. Today I wanted to talk about something that I've really been not necessarily avoiding, but I just didn't really want to talk about it just due to the ramifications behind it. You know what I mean? As far as the outright negative comments and things I really just didn't want to get into. Like right now, I figure the way society is moving, there's no real reason to want to throw myself into the fray and I won't even say into the fray, just throw myself into the blender because if anybody knows me knows that I have been taking part in protests since they first started protests about certain things. Now, excuse me. Now, as far as the protests that are taking place, I've been down there a couple of times, but really haven't tried to delve too deep into it or try to, put myself in a position to where, I'm actually voicing my opinion in that way, and not out of fear, but just off the fact that I've did it before and it didn't go nowhere. It fell on deaf ears, and people really didn't respect the fact that people of a certain hue were out there actually protesting. So I refuse to put myself in the blender again unless it's just really called for. And the whole reason that I made this video and the title as such is because it's true. And the MAGA party is basically on this last leg. And I'll give you a few reasons why I believe that. For one, MAGA pretty much not only started as a slogan, but as a as a way to call a call towards patriotism, we'll say, and seeing that I consider myself to be American, regardless of what anybody says, or how anybody feels about it, since that there's a major pushback on anybody that's claiming that they're American. I consider myself American and extremely patriotism. So there's certain things that I refrain from doing because I feel like it's a direct slap in the face to those who have served this country faithfully and have given their life for a flag that we now represent. Now, this is not to criticize anybody in particular or disrespect any ethnic group or nationality, because that would never be my purpose in making these videos, especially seeing that I have a lot of friends that are of a lot of different ethnicities, and we don't play that whole race baiting and who's to blame. And that's one of the reasons why my audience is kind of increasing on platforms, because I don't play those type games. But the whole reason I'm saying MAGA is on its last leg, and that I say that because it's more than apparent. When you look on the news right now and you see not so much statistics, but people, the falling off of MAGA supporters and their pushback to the MAGA party, well, not the party, but the movement, and they're in fact MAGA supporters themselves. It just paints a broader picture, and the picture that a lot of people are painting is this is not what they signed up for. This is not what they volunteered their vote for. This is not the MAGA movement that they were supporting, because MAGA has moved away from patriotism to white supremacy. And there's always been an underline of that in the party, but for those who have supported Trump, they didn't really see it as that. They saw it as a like a brotherhood, a movement, something that they can all throw their back behind. And for a while it was going well for a lot of them, but now they see that essentially the MAGA party has now I won't even say the MAGA party. I say the movement has betrayed them, because Trump is no longer looking to help out certain people unless their pay grade and their money is at a certain level. But this is nothing new to anybody. This is what happens when you deal with billionaires and millionaires and people that make enough to buy your whole state. Like, this is the type of mentality you get. And it's not to say that the president of the United States is the one that's turning his back on the movement. It's just the movement within itself has become extremely toxic. Like, The only time there's real solidarity amongst races in the MAGA in the MAGA movement is when they're at a protest. But other than that, it's contradiction and disrespect and racist undertones, and then there's some that's just outright racist, and that's why I'm saying, like, as far as like the party, the movement is failing because the patriotism is no longer there. It's come down to insecurities and pointing the fingers, and this is what we voted for because it's something I had stated in a prior video when I was talking to the people that follow my platform that are Hispanics. I said that when they got done coming for the blacks, that they would turn their eye towards the Hispanics, just if simply for the fact that the numbers are growing exponentially, and they've been growing, and a land that was bought, fought for, and certain people lost. I can go through the numbers, but I'm not gonna go into that because everybody knows when the wars happened and then when they actually sold certain parts of the United States to United States. So I'm not going to the numbers. We all know, but basically the whole reason I chose to even talk about this because I seen it, and it's a sad thing because at one time people were on board, and they were working towards a common goal, and that's basically to bring the United States back to the level it was before when everybody did work together. Because that's the only time America has ever been great, is when it's shared responsibilities and people, because you had at one time you had what you would consider immigrants from all over the place. What the United States is predominantly made of is immigrants of different backgrounds, some African, some uh, Hispanic, some different variations of whites. You had the Italians, you had the Irish hard workers, you had Polish, you had all these different what you would consider white, but these different groups that took part in making America what it is. Now, America has always been racist to a certain point, and some of it isn't even racism. Some people don't even are not even racist. They're just prejudiced. They're used to a certain way of doing things. They see things that don't necessarily align with their way of thinking and the way they live their life as you know ghetto and things of that nature. But that's just something that I guess people now have to get used to, is the fact that the whole train of thinking as far as like immigrants are no longer welcome. And I get it. It's because it's certain people that they consider immigrants. But then again, that's a whole nother video on the train of thoughts of people that are considered migrants, and their unwillingness to want to reach across the aisle and deal with not only each other but other races, because it's a certain level of prejudice and colorism in their groups as well. Uh, and I don't want to get too into that. I just want to, go back to what I was saying about MAGA and the fact that, the party is failing. You have people that no longer are worried about patriotism, or they equate their patriotism to being outright racist towards other groups that did absolutely nothing to them. Like, it's one thing to live in a neighborhood to where you don't want certain people living around you, and even though that's a sad way of thinking, you're entitled to your thoughts. You don't have to spew it out your mouth, but you're entitled to your thoughts. You're entitled to feel the way you feel because it's you as a person or an individual. You don't have to come to the table and be kumbaya with anybody. You don't have to accept anybody. You don't even have to deal with people. But when you're in the United States, and just in California alone is a boiling, just in LA alone, the boiling pot, it's a boiling pot. You have every race, every nationality, every ethnicity that people consider themselves to be in Los Angeles, California. So just in LA has every race. So, well, every ethnicity or every group, but and that's another thing. People like to break this down, and we're an ethnicity, or we're this, and it's like, no, you're really not. But according to yourself, uh, you are. But it doesn't mean because you believe it, you make it so. But like I said, I try not to stray from the sole intent of the video, but a lot of times I do get distracted, and to formulate my thoughts is always not a straightforward thing. But the whole reason I said about the MAGA fan and the fact that their party is burning up is because they've replaced a slogan and a patriotic movement, and put something else in its place that people don't necessarily recognize. The only people really focused on MAGA right now, the ones that are really representing MAGA to what they would consider the full extent, are the people that just outright hate every other race. Like, they may be like, oh, well, they can't be racist because we have black MAGA. Well, we have black conservatives as well. You know what I mean? But the party in the whole has become a cesspool of infighting and just outright disrespect to the flag and everything that it stands for. Because when the only way to really make America great is to reach across the aisle and figure out something outside of just mass deportations and things of that nature. I don't really get into that either, because I've seen people say certain things, and I've seen people say criminals should be put away because they do crimes, and then now that certain things are taking place, people are like, oh, you should overlook it because this used to be certain people's country. And in a way, it just depends on what type of person you are. And I won't say you have to be a bleeding heart, but anybody that has even a semblance or a smidgen of care for other people will feel some type of way about people being snatched out of their mom's arms and being removed from the country for no infractions at all. Like, there should be a clear way of moving forward as far as like getting people nationalized and not taking 40, 50 years in order to do it. But that's a video for a whole nother thing. For a whole nother day. But the whole reason, like I said, I brought up the MAGA thing is because I see it. The party or the movement is imploding. A lot of people are now starting to turn their back on other MAGA hat wearers. Like, I'll say that I've seen people with the same hat, with the same catch slogan, "Make America Great Again," that will have no words for each other. You have a lot of, and people can be like, oh, well, it's bull. You can go on social media right now and see people outright disrespecting each other and saying that this dude is an idiot because he still believes in the MAGA movement, and MAGA betrayed them because if it wasn't for money, it was benefits that they felt like they were gonna receive. Other ones that talk about people and food stamps and certain programs that have set in place to help people not only be dependent but continue to at least survive in a world that a lot of people didn't mean for them to survive, which is crazy because of, like I said, a lot of people that get these benefits are not even the people that you would expect. But that's like a whole different thing that I won't even get into. But people were upset. Like, you had a chick that Caucasian mad because she wasn't getting her Section 8 anymore, and that they no longer wanted to entertain her after 20 something years of being on it. Another one is mad because well, a lot of the people are mad at the fact that they're as far as like their medical and things being cut off, and they're no longer getting Medicare and Medicaid, and the thing goes on and on. Like, you don't have to be on TikTok and watch absolutely every video to get the gist of what's going on. You can go on social media, you can go on X, you can go on a lot of different platforms and see the discussion they're having on different discords. A lot of MAGA supporters do not support each other, and especially now that it's moved away from a patriotic party or a patriotic movement to more of, I hate you, you shouldn't be in my country, and that's just how it is. I voted for this. I voted for them to move brown people, and then they slowly start exposing themselves as racism. And that's why I say I respect Trump on that, because he exposed what has been an underlying problem for the longest. You could never move forward without confronting something, learning how to deal with it, and then correct it and move past it. We've been putting band-aids on things for years, and this is exactly what happens when you continue to put band-aids on wounds that are gaping, that people were acting as if they couldn't see. And now here's the product of it. You got mass deportations, even though Obama and a lot of other people did more more than this, but the way they're doing it is the whole reason why it's getting negative publicity, and the notoriety of it, or wrong words, but this is the whole reason why it's getting so much press, because the way it's being done, they're not even arresting people with warrants. They're out actively seeking anybody that looks a certain color, and now that's why people are starting to fall back. You have a lot of people, the Latinos for Trump. I really don't. You knew what was gonna happen, so I have no love for you guys, because and it's not even that you chose Trump, is that you chose Trump knowing that what he was gonna do to your people, even though you might not consider your people because you're not Mexican. But Honduras, Colombia, Venezuela, Argentina, they've been deporting all types of people. So it has affected a lot of different people that you may not have thought it would. But this is no disrespect to the MAGA party. You have a choice to represent what you want. You have a choice to claim a president that's your president. He's my president as well, regardless of what's being done. It's just the way it is. So I'm not going to get hypocritical on that. But yeah, that's the whole reason why the MAGA party is failing. And I can delve deeper into it if you want me to. I can dig a lot deeper and get into the exact things and the exact reason why the MAGA party is failing. I just throwing stuff out there that I've perceived and read. But I can dive a lot deeper, and really, give you the meat and potatoes of it. But for the most part, that's all I really want to say. My name is Zaz Vendetta TV, and I will be back at you with another video, and hopefully it will be more. It'll be said better, I guess. Can't even find my words right now. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'm out.